How do we interpret conflicting motivations in Soviet Bloc popular uprisings? Imagine trying to understand a story where everyone has different reasons for acting, yet they all seem to want change. That's what analyzing popular uprisings in the Soviet Union and its allies during the Cold War is like. These protests and rebellions were not just simple fights, they were a mix of many different motivations. Some people wanted better economic conditions, others sought more political freedom, and some aimed for national independence. The challenge is figuring out what drove these movements when their goals often clashed. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union aimed to spread its version of socialism across its bloc of countries. The leadership believed that a strong, centralized government was necessary to build a classless society. This meant strict control over political life and little room for local voices. The people's grievances, like poor living standards, lack of political rights, or cultural suppression, often clashed with the official message of unity and socialist progress. When economic hardships hit, especially during rigid central planning, people started to question the system. Nationalist feelings also grew stronger as Glasnost, or openness, allowed suppressed identities to surface. Countries like Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Poland had long histories of wanting independence from Soviet control. These nationalist movements often mixed with calls for reforms or democracy, making the uprisings even more complicated. Some protesters wanted reforms within the socialist system, while others aimed to break free entirely. From the Soviet perspective, these uprisings were seen as threats. The leadership often viewed them as reactionary or even counter-revolutionary. This led to harsh crackdowns, like in Hungary in 1956 or Czechoslovakia in 1960, where the Soviet Union sent troops to crush the protests. The idea was to keep the bloc united under socialist rule. But as reforms like Gorbachev's Perestroika and Glasnost took hold, the Soviet Union loosened its grip. This change allowed different motivations to come to the surface more openly, which made the uprisings more unpredictable. In the end, these conflicts show how the Soviet Union's goal of a unified socialist bloc often clashed with the diverse hopes and frustrations of its people. Some wanted genuine socialism, others wanted independence or democracy. The conflicting motivations reveal the tension between the ideal of a unified socialist society and the reality of national and individual aspirations. These uprisings reflected both the failures of the system and the rising currents of nationalism and reform that eventually led to the collapse of the Soviet bloc.